Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I wanted to go ahead and give my recap on the Janet Jackson documentary. This is parts, 3 and 4. Let me just start off by saying this. I realized watching the second part of this reunion, the second part of this documentary, that Janet had, because I felt like the first part of the documentary, it was kind of oversaturated with like her family, but then like a light bulb kind of went off in my head where I was like, oh, like I think Janet has to include her family because family is so important to Janet. And there's really no way to get to the point where we're talking about Janet Jackson without talking about her upbringing. Because she didn't start out as his solo artist. She started out, as part of this mega superstar family, right? So I think it's kind of hard to talk about Janet and her success without having to talk about, her brothers and sisters and, her father, of course, her mother. So I think I kind of get it now why her family played such a major part in the documentary, because things that Janet would say, you can tell that family is very, 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 very important to her. So there's no way to have this documentary without discussing her family. Anyway, that's what I think now. All right. So it starts off 1990, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I still stand on what I said, though. I think that Janet DeVito Jackson deserved more than an A&E documentary. I'm sorry. Girl, I'm sorry. I know she signed off on it, but Janet deserved much more, like a Amazon Prime, HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, something, movie theater. That's just why I stand on that. This just ain't a regular around the way girl. Okay. Anyways, 1990, she was inducted. She got received a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. I did not know this, but she had 7 top 5 singles. Girl, she broke Michael Jackson's record from Thriller. So basically she signed with Virgin Records. She became the highest paid recording artist. She did Poetic Justice. Girl, let me tell you something. Poetic Justice is one of my favorite movies. Poetic Justice is up there like with Waiting to Exhale, The Inkwell. Girl, The Inkwell is one of my favorite movies. Poetic Justice, Waiting to Excel, like they're up there. Anyways, Renee. I'm not gonna say that a thing was happening between Tupac and Janet, but it kind of, the way that Regina King with her messy self made it seem in the documentary was, it kind of was it could have been something with Tupac and Janet. But Renee was in the picture. Well, that was her husband. I'm saying he in the picture. Girl, he was in the picture, girl. Girl, that was her whole husband. Girl. But Renee was in the picture. I keep saying in the picture, girl. That was her husband. I'm really over here thinking Renee was over there cock blocking, girl. But it seems as though to me that it could have been something with Tupac and Janet if Janet hadn't been married. Girl, don't let Yo-Yo find her. Yo-Yo out here fighting over a dead man. Girl, trying to tell the girls who he loved more, her. Yo-Yo, you too old for that. Anyways, the Again video. Janet wanted to do something different. She wanted to tap into her, sensuality, right? So she called Tina to let Tina know, I want to. She was kind of nervous to say it from what Tina said. Baby, Tina used to be bad. When they showed Tina with that 2-piece bathing suit on, I said, come on, Miss Tina. But, Tina said that Janet was kind of nervous to say it, but she wanted to tap into, the sexy side of her. Renee was the one who directed the Again video. He was here for it. The Janet Jackson, at one point she said, the actor with his fine self, what's his name? Is his real name Gary? Girl, he fine to this day. Remember he was on Being Mary Jane? Oh, he played him and Mary Jane, Gabrielle Union, her character Mary Jane, they were dating at one point. Oh, I think it's fine. Anyways, Janet Jackson. Oh, he said he was like, he mentioned something about her having a boyfriend, not really realizing that her husband was the one who was directing the video shoot, right? So Janet, the Rolling Stone, iconic, legendary cover girl. When Renee was covering up her boobs with his hands, that really is probably one of the most iconic magazine covers to this day. It really, really is. I think that right there started to shake the table. I just want to go ahead and say this. Janet really low-key is that girl. She's one of those girls. Because there's a couple of them, okay? But Janet really... I'm just happy that we have this documentary with Janet still being, a young age. She's 50-something. That's young, okay? And she could approve of this, and that people who may not know who Janet Jackson is or may not, really know what she contributed to the world or just the music industry now kind of get a glimpse of girl, before it was the other girls, girl, it really was Janet Jackson. And Janet Jackson really did knock down a lot of doors. Even when you look at her just being this sexy icon woman, I think it's sad that, yes, I do understand that you have women in the industry who are forced to become these sexy, people. But then you really have those women like Janet who wanted, this is who I am. This is the side of me that I want to show. And I think that, she was one of those women who basically knocked that door down to let the girls know, girl, it's okay to be sexy. It's okay, girl. Because mama here. Girl, mama gonna let y'all girls know. I live for Janet Jackson. Anyways, I didn't know that, again, had been nominated for an Oscar. I did not know that. She was kind of nervous because, her family, she didn't really think that her family would like what exactly, the magazine cover. Because, Rebe, Rebe, she's a Christian woman. Girl, Rebe is a Christian woman. So she wasn't here for it. Rebe wasn't here for it. I don't think Catherine was here for it. I don't really think her family was here for this newfound Janet, right? The sexy side of Janet. Because when Janet came out, baby, Janet had on turtlenecks and blazers. Was still fly. Mama was still fly. But when Janet came out, Janet was covered up from head to toe. Okay? Now, baby, mama sitting up there, a girl with her pants halfway down with somebody's hand on her titties. Girl, God know Catherine probably had a heart attack when she saw that magazine cover. Anyway, she kind of started, I'm not gonna say she started, but I feel like Janet was the one who started the whole bringing someone on stage. Renee was very supportive of that. He would be the one who basically kind of picked the guy out just to make sure that whoever we bring on stage, we need to make sure that they act like they got some sense. I know that's right. Janet was this close to receiving a Coca-Cola deal. And then that first allegation with Michael Jackson came out, and that kind of changed the route of, not change, girl. She didn't get the deal, basically. They was like, no, girl, no deal for you. After the whole thing ended, I'm not really gonna get into the whole Michael Jackson situation, but after the whole thing ended, he paid the people off. He wanted to do a song with Janet. Now, I get that Janet and Michael are brothers and sisters. Brother and sister. But a part of me, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, a part of me felt like, okay, so now he needs Janet, right? Now, I'm sure, like, you went, I don't know. A part of me felt like, even though Janet didn't look at it as though Michael is using me, a part of me felt like he not necessarily was using Janet, but he needed Janet at that moment, because Janet was her own. Let me tell you something. One thing I do have to say, my mind is all over the place. One thing I do have to go ahead and say is that, you know how talented you have to be when you have, and because this doesn't really happen a lot, probably never quite as it's kept. You might have, for example, you have a Beyonce and a Solange. Solange is successful in her own right, but girl, she ain't nowhere near no Beyonce. You got Brandy and Ray J. Ray J is successful in his own right, but when it came to that music career, it just won't pop the way that Brandy's pop. Then here come Michael Jackson, and then Janet Jackson. Girl, Michael was, of course, a bigger superstar, but girl, Janet was like right there. Girl. So do you know like how like hard that is for some people to kind of break out of their, you know, sibling shell and to try to create their own lane? Like, that just goes to show how bad of a bitch Janet Jackson is. Like, she really is that girl. And another thing, too, I want to go ahead and say. Missy Elliott said it at the end of the thing. She said something about you could have a lot of artists, but there's only a few superstars, or something like that. And a light bulb kind of went off. Even with the girls and boys who I see today, I did kind of realize in that moment that even though they might be cute for a little, a little yang, shout out to Funky, a little yang around the house, it's kind of like when I think about like the Beyonce and the Michael and the Jack and the Janet and the Mariahs and the Whitneys and the Tonys. Like, either you really just got it or either you don't. And that's really what it comes down to. Either you got it or either you don't. And it's only a handful of girls and boys who actually got it. And then the rest of them, it's like, okay, they're cute. But girl, they ain't over here. Because these girls been bad since they was 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. You know what I'm saying? These girls and boys been bad since they was 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Anyways, girl, you know, we shade Beyonce, but I can't take that away. That Beyonce, she right over here too. Now, she not on the same level, girl. Let me shut up. I'm gonna make some of y'all mad. She not on the same level as Janet and Michael, but that's okay. But she's still over here though. She not over here. She over here with them, but she just not up there with them. All right. So, anyways, I'm about to make somebody mad. So Michael wanted to do Scream. Janet felt like they were basically making them compete against each other. They were not even allowed to shoot the video together. I'm assuming they shot that dance, the dance scene together. But other than that, like, she shot, I think she said she shot at night and she shot. One of them shot at night and one of them shot at day. So basically, they were not even allowed on set at the same time, which is weird as hell. But she felt like they were, again, the record companies were pitting them against each other. Renee. You know, Renee is the type of person that wants to record everything. And at this point, you could tell he was starting to get on people's nerves. Girl, get that camera out of my face, okay? You could tell, like, even with Janet getting upset. Janet still, like, even when Janet gets upset, girl, you never heard her voice, like, go up. He wanted her to, like, re-kiss her mother. She's like, no, like, that's fake. Like, I'm not, like, re-kissing her just for, like, for a shot. Get that camera out of my mama's face. Okay? But at that point, you could tell that Renee was starting to get on the girl's nerves. Because, again, nobody wants to wake up every day and you have somebody in your face. Well, I mean, it's one thing if you're getting paid to do it as a reality star, but nobody wants to get up every day, girl, and you got a camera in my face. Girl, move. Girl. Renee became addicted to painkillers. Velvet rope, girl. Velvet rope is everything. You know, I didn't get into Janet Jackson like that until like the Mita Joe album. That the Mita Joe album, I don't care what the girl said, the Mita Joe album, bang. Girl. And then that's when I ended up going back. I knew all her singles. And a few of her songs, but girl, I didn't get into like Janet Jackson. And then I went back and was like, okay, girl, Janet Jackson really. I'm gonna go ahead and say something. I've said this before, like probably like a few months ago. Mariah Carey was on here. Girl, Mariah Carey said, I know her. Now, I don't know her, but I know her. Okay? But even though I know that it would not, a lot of people would be against it, but there's only two people, in my opinion, that could really go against Mariah Carey in her catalog. And that is Janet Jackson and Mary J. Blige. Now, I know those are three completely different artists, and they've never been pitted against each other. We know that it was always Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to catalog, girl, song versus song, girl, Janet could stick with Mariah, and Mary J. Blige good too. Now, I know they're all three completely different artists. But I think that, girl, that's the only competition that Mariah Carey would have. Or the only competition that Janet Jackson or Mary J. Blige would have. I'm so serious when I say that, and I've been said that before this Janet Jackson documentary even came out. Anyways, Velvet Rope, girl. Renee started pressuring Janet to basically, you know, girl, you can't go out looking like a mess. You know, you have to basically look the part. You have to look the part. If you're going to go out, you have to make sure your makeup is done, your hair is done. You have to look like the magazine cover. Janet is an emotional eater. Girl, I am the same way. Girl, when she said that, girl, I said, girl, I'm the same way. You know, in Janet's career, like most people, even if you're not in the limelight, your weight can go up and down. Janet filed for divorce from Renee. It just started to become too much. Then here come Lil Jermaine. Here come Lil Jermaine Dupri. All right. Anyways, they end up getting together. Girl, he cheated. He says that he was a man. What did he say? I was a man. He said that a lot of women wanted to basically sit with him or get with him now that he was with Janet Jackson. I mean, it makes sense. Most of the time, like, nobody wants you unless somebody else wants you. That's really how it works. Once people see that, Janet Jackson wants you, ooh, shit, Jermaine is fine, girl. Now everybody want to give him some. Anyways, child. 2018, Justin tried to contact Janet about doing the Super Bowl. Did he perform at the Super Bowl 2018? I forgot. So here we go with Nipplegate, Tittygate. Girl, they really tried, girl, when I tell you they really tried to blackball and blacklist Janet, I mean, I guess they did, in a way. Girl, all because of a titty. I didn't care about the titty. You know what I think is so weird? How, like, we can sit here and watch football and we can watch these men bang their bodies into each other and all they have on is cotton balls and napkins, okay? We can watch Floyd Mayweather and everybody else in the boxing ring beat each other head in until they walk out with swollen eyes and, girl, no ear, piece of their ear gone, girl, blood, just body aching. Girl, half of these football players, girl, losing their mind, going crazy. And, girl, we holler and scream. But, girl, when Janet Jackson pulls out a titty at the Super Bowl, girl, all of a sudden, girl, we worried about the kids and what they see. Girl, your child is watching grown men beat each other, girl, up on the field. And, girl, gonna have CTE and all types of fucking brain damage when they get older. Probably losing their mind right now. And y'all go up for it. But a titty is where y'all draw the line. Girl. A titty that half of these kids have already seen anyways. Okay? Anyways, I will say this much. I think Janet knew. I think Janet probably freaked out after the incident. Okay? I'm just going to be honest with y'all. Listen, Janet knew, Justin knew. Okay? I don't think anybody else really knew what the tea was about to be, but I definitely think that Janet knew what was about to happen with that titty. I think Justin knew what was about to happen with that titty. Justin left Janet out there to hang dry. Now, she told us in a documentary to leave Justin alone. Well, Janet, you need to go take care of your baby, because we're not leaving Justin alone. Not me. Now, I will listen to Justin's music, but girl, every time I listen to his music, I'm always reminded of how he did Janet. And if I saw Justin tomorrow, I'm going to remind him of what he did to Janet. Period. So, Janet, you can forgive him, girl. God forgives, I don't. I keep it right here. Try to live out the pocket. Girl, he left you out there to dry. To hang by yourself. Talk about forgive him. We done moved on. Girl, we don't care, Janet. With all due respect. Queen, we don't care. We don't care, Queen. Anyways, Jermaine basically quit the Grammys. He was on the voting board or some type of board at the Grammys, and they basically disinvited Janet. Girl, Janet, her career kind of took a slight turn, right? This was like her first this is her first album that she released that didn't go number one. She was disinvited to the Grammys. I will give Jermaine props for at least, basically standing up against, this institution when it came to Janet. He couldn't keep his dick in his pants. And Janet said she was going to have a whole bunch of children with him however many he wanted. Girl, what? They basically tried to use Janet as an example. I did not know Stevie Wonder and Janet were cousins. Tyler Perry came into the picture. He wanted her to be a part of a movie he did, which was Why Did I Get Married? That's one of my movies. I actually bought that movie on DVD. Then Michael Jackson ended up dying. It made me really, really sad when Catherine couldn't talk about Michael. Rebe basically let it be known, and I guess I never really thought about it this way. With that being her brother, I think that Rebe probably can walk around. I think Rebe probably can go to the grocery store and nobody bother her. Now, we know Janet can't go to no grocery store, okay? But Rebe basically, let it be known that girl, anytime she walked to the grocery store, all she saw was Michael, being plastered all across the magazines. And it just made me think about, how hard that probably had to be for his family. You trying to go to the grocery store to get some eggs and milk, and girl, all you see is Michael Jackson dead, Michael Jackson dead, Michael Jackson dead, Michael Jackson dead, Michael Jackson dead. So there's really no way to escape it, because if you turn on TV, it's going to be on TV. And when you go to the grocery store, it's going to be on the magazine covers. So Janet is pregnant at 50. Shout out to her. I don't know how she did it. I don't know why she did it. That almost came out, but I fixed it. I guess I said it anyways. But girl, she got a baby. I can definitely see Janet being a great mother. I think Janet is one of those people. I just think that Janet would be a great mother. I really do. That baby daddy, girl. All I know is we looked up, Janet had a baby. I'm talking about on a documentary. Girl, they ain't mentioned that baby daddy. Girl, they ain't showed that baby face. Now I don't blame her for not showing the face. But girl, they ain't mentioned that baby daddy or nothing. All I know is Janet got pregnant at 50. I said, what type of fucking NDA he got? Girl! Because daddy ain't playing. They pretty much tried to erase Janet Jackson. That's what they tried to do. She finally got inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2019. And that was pretty much it. You have, like they said, girl, you have Britney Spears. Britney Spears, who really low-key was probably inspired by Janet Jackson. When you think of Britney Spears, do you think of Madonna? Girl, do you really? Or do you just think of two white helpers? I really think if you sat down and asked Britney who was her biggest inspiration, I guarantee you she's gonna say Janet Jackson. but I guess she couldn't say it. Janet Jackson is that girl. That's what it comes down to. She's that girl. Before there was a Beyonce, before there was the Ciaras, all these other girls, it was Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was the one who really opened up the door and knocked that bitch down for a lot of these girls to walk through. And that's just true, T. That was pretty much it. Shout out to Janet Jackson. Love, 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 love her. Iconic, legendary girl, music catalog for Jays. All right, I'll talk to y'all girls later. Bye.